sorry for being late, but you know it's a personal affair. It's not a commercial studio so that we can arrange everything for you commercially. And I invited him as a family member to the house. For past 10 years, we are the part of a family. But then I wanted to listen something from a successful person who has seen all the shades of life. As all of us, most of us, start from a very low beginning, and then we aspire for a big thing, we have a big dream, etc., etc. He is a very good example of that. He starts from a very humble beginning, very humble. Some of you get disappointed, some of you are depressed, some of you are fighting with yourself, what should I do, etc., etc. But then I thought, after once I saw his selection in UPSC, I was so much happy. I was happy because I told you in my previous video that every year I take out a person who is extra important for you. Especially, everyone is important. All the 29 people who have got the selection, they all are important. But some people are extra important. Their life is example, their struggle is example, their patience is example, their transformation is example. I today not take much time of you. I directly come to Mr. Prabhat Singh. So Prabhat Singh, welcome here.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations for the huge success.
Thank you.
Now, first thing, as you always talked about your mother, my mother is always an ideal for me. So I want that you should start from narrating the story of your mother.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think so. Behind every children's dream or every successful person I have seen and I have known, there's a constant power and constant energy which keeps you pushing at every moment. And I think so. I very much inculcated that pushing factor from my parents, especially my mom. I was very lucky that I was blessed with parents because neither my father was an educated person and neither my mother, but they were very well knowledge person. I got blessing of two things from my parents. My dad gave me discipline, that he worked in a very humble background. He did service as a middle class person. He was in a particular firm, a very normal person. But one thing which extraordinary was given by mom to me was aspirations and dreams, and the capacity and ability to dream. She always said that whenever you do a work, you have to ace it, and until you ace it, you do not have to fall back. And recently there was a movie in which I heard a line that "माँ से बड़ी योद्धा नहीं होती," and I could very much relate to it because I've seen, and many people coming from background like mine are seeing that their parents are struggling every day, and I think so there can be nothing bigger factor, motivation factor than this. I've seen my mother working till midnight late in her own beauty salon so that our monthly fees can be paid, and then my father, no doubt, apart from his job for continuously 2-3 years, I've seen him doing double shifts for 2-3 years so that he can take expenses of our education. Apart from that, my parents used to run a vegetable shop, and it used to be very strange because we were small, so we did not understand what is the logic behind this. And when we used to go to school, so unintentionally the children used to call us ki sabji wala, and that thing used to come in the mind. But we were never least affected because my parents always told us that whatever you need to do for the best of the family, you have to do. And back then I remember we were in Varda, and my mom used to go early morning at 4 o'clock to the wholesale mandi market, which is a full market dominated by men. And over there she used to take my little young sister. She was hardly 1 year, 2 years. So my sister used to be in her hands, and she used to hold my hand, and we used to go to the mandi. Most of the time my father used to accompany her, but still there used to be a time when she had to go and she had to do this. So I never saw a slight disappointment on her face. It was always a fighting spirit, and this kept us moving because when my parents started this small thing of selling vegetables, improvised to getting a shop of where she could run a beauty salon. Then we started into catering business. So it always improvised. It took some time, and the support they had for each other, my parents, and this gave us also energy. In fact, when my mom was hospitalized in the last years, so I still remember she was diagnosed with swine flu. She was already 3 months into the hospital, and she was diagnosed with swine flu in Delhi, and due to some patient in the hospital only. So the doctor said that nothing more can be done, and there were 12 patients in the hospital of swine flu, and somehow 11 patients, I'm sorry, they lost their life, but only my mother was the one who came out fighting. So even on her deathbed, she was fighting till the last moment. So I lost her in 2015, and before that I made only 2 attempts of mine. And when she was going into the ICU, she made a line to me, and I think so you were also there, and she said that my nickname is Binu, so she said that Binu, अब मेरे वजह से तुम्हारा कोई attempt waste नहीं होगा. So that was a very motivating night.
See, the parents, especially the middle class parents, they have a very high potential of sacrificing for their children. I know him from 2011 and 2012. I came to know his family and all. And as he said, his mother had a very high level of fighting spirit. And I tell you, why we say that parents are the representatives of God. She is not alive, but from wherever she must be watching, she must be very proud of her son and her family. And the biggest thing, see, the main message which I want to give you here is, that she is saying to him, she is going to ICU, and she is saying to him, कि बेटा, I will not be the obstacle. Means, if you think anyone else other than your parents, I will again repeat the line. If you think any other thing other than your parents, you don't know what harm you are doing, because they are the people who can give their life. They are the people who can give their life. So, I know as I was a very important part of his journey. So I know that his mother was of a very high fighting spirit, and she was a daring lady. We give a huge tribute to her. And your success, the 90% credit for his success goes to his mother. If I say 98, that will not be an exaggeration, but then that will be somewhat, I think no one will have objection for it. But then we will give 98% contribution for his success, for his achievement, to his mother. Second question, Mr. Singh. So as you said, your mother created a deadline, and your mother gave all the platform to you for your success and achievement. We give a huge tribute to her, we pray for her. Second thing, tell me something about your family, about the family support and all.
Yes, sir. So to start with my family, I'll like to tell everyone that when you start a journey and the journey is too long, you meet many people throughout the journey. I started in 2011, and I was a very, very average student, not at all very much dedicated to academics, but yeah, I was good, but not dedicated to academics. And in fact, when the results were out and I told to many of my friends from school and college, it came out as a total surprise to them that you and getting into UPSC, we never even thought about it. But in this journey, when you meet many people, there will be 2 types of people, I think so, around you. One who will believe in your capabilities, and one who will believe in your dreams. believing in your capabilities will be your friends, your close relationship which you make, and they know that okay, you are capable. They'll judge you on your personality, your academics, your knowledge. But the other person who believe in your dream, I think so. In my case, which was only my family, and to specially mention my brother, elder brother Pratik Singh.
Pratik Singh, yes, yes.
When we were lost mom and we were not in the condition to, I was not in the condition to go for civils again because financially we were totally drained, and so there was no option that how I could continue, because I have already left my preparation in 2013, and 2015 the syllabus changed, the CSAT was gone, and it was an entire new syllabus. The GS pattern had changed, and there were classes and everything, and it was a very difficult job for me, because I was meanwhile also doing my law. So my family, my brother, he spoke to me. I remember I lost my mom, and my uncle, my father, he was still working there, and my uncle Keshav Bhair, he was also there. So we four of us were sitting, and they asked me sincerely that what do I want to do, that do I want to pursue law. So I said I always did law for my education, extra education, and I thought I will get into it someday. But they said, do you want to do it, or do you think you can do it? I said, no, I don't want to do it, and I think so I can do better. So they asked me, what is this better? So I said, I want to fulfill mother's dream of getting into UPSC, into civil services. And the major thing which we faced during my mom's treatment, so back then only I decided that I have to get into civil service, and I have to dedicatedly give my life to civil services, and nothing else. So I told this to my brother. My father was a little dicey about it, because he was a very simple man with simple dreams. He said, you should get a good job and you should start working. But my brother pulled me out, and he took the risk, and he said, you do whatever you want. I will sponsor your education, let me take a loan, whatever is the thing. I will do it. I will support you. Back then I had some close relationships, and I had close friends, and they were also like, you can give it a try, but I think so you're good at very other things, because always everyone thought that I can be good at business. I was in Gujarat for some time and I did some of it. So everyone was like, you're good in many other things, why don't you do that? And why are you after civils changing your life? And people who I used to work with earlier, they also offered me jobs in their company in Gujarat, but I could never wholeheartedly go there. So my brother, after my mom, was my family and was a supporting factor. And apart from my brother, my father, they both started again supporting me for my education. And my uncle, he also financed some major portion of my education as well. These three people, in fact, since 2015, I think only these three people were aware that I am about to give civil services examination, and my younger sister. Apart from that, I don't think so anyone else, apart from the people whom I used to prepare with, they're even aware. Because I did my law, I used to work part-time, I was attached with some travel groups. Sometimes I used to make some extra money so that if I want to join some test series or some other way, but even then there was no pressure from the family. And my brother, he used to face many questions from everyone around that. Your younger brother is already very aged, and what is he doing? So he used to always say, he's my investment, let it be a quota sikka. And let me see what it touches, and whatever the risk is, it's mine. So I think so this belief, and people, everyone who's coming out of their home, I like just like to tell them that don't make this as a pressure on you, that your brother is sponsoring your education or your father is sponsoring, they are selling plots or whatever they are doing. Don't make it as a pressure on you. Don't build a pressure. This can be your only motivating factor. So this always motivated me. My brother is paying my fee, so I was always motivated. There is someone still who is believing in me. I was 26 practically back then. I was not doing any job. I did not clear prelims in the first 4 attempts, and it was 2018 back then. And in fact, I remember after my 2018 attempt, I had come to see you as well, and we had a discussion about it. So you also asked me what to do, and I said, sir, I need one more attempt, and I'll definitely make in the top list. But somehow, okay, things did not work out. I got a rank, but I'm definitely sure with this motivating factor. Even today after the result, my brother says, even if you don't want to join right now, it's not an issue. He's like, if you don't want to join, don't take it. If you believe in your dream, give it an attempt, fresh attempt next year. So that's the role of family. Friends will always be there, but if you are blessed with such a family, then I think so there is no pressure. Children often come to pressure that my parents are doing this and I have not been able to do that. No. Take it as a motivating factor, a positive aspect of your life, and fulfill. Not civils, something else, but you will definitely do great. And their investment, the quota sickle will someday fetch them a very good amount. This is what I do.
So Prabhat Singh is saying ki don't think that you are a khota sikka. And I remember a dialogue from a Sholay movie when Sanjeev Kumar says ki when that sub-inspector comes to meet Sanjeev Kumar in the beginning of the movie and he says कि पर ये दोनों तो किसी काम के नहीं, तो देन संजीव कुमार के उसका रिप्लाई कि ये तो दोनों खोटे सिक्के हैं. तो संजीव कुमार रिप्लाइज कि सिक्के और इंसान में शायद यही फर्क है कि खोटा सिक्का दोनों तरफ से खराब हो सकता है, मतलब खोटा कॉइन will be useless from both the sides, but that is not with the human being. And what he wants to convey to you, please pay attention on that. He says कि whenever you are a dream for your family and everyone is sacrificing on you, don't take it as a pressure. It should be a motivational factor for you. This is the reason I called him, because all of us belong to the same background. Don't see what he's saying. My brother used to say, fine. Some of you used to come to me and say, sir, my father has taken loan and father had done this. Okay, fine. We all face all those things. But see what he's saying. His brother used to say, if he is a khota sector, but if he does not move into the market, it's my problem, it's my headache. Why you are worried? And when you are conveyed all these things, don't take it as a pressure. First thing he says, you should have a dream. Your parents should be God to you. God. Your family should be a support system to you. There is no need to take the pressure in the big games. But about all the big games, Mr. Singh, I have seen that friends also play a very important role.
Yes, sir.
This is a group in the world which you don't get by yourself, you create them. So please throw some light on them.
Sir, I'll be first of all, I'd like to say sorry in the initial part only, because you have seen me, how social I was before getting into civil. So I have a huge friend list, and it is because my dad kept on moving for his job. So my friends throughout my journey were a lot of friends, and my first attempt was in 2012 when I gave it, and I was staying with my cousin. His name is Arpit, and he was not from a UPSC background, but as I said, he's also a family. And whenever I used to get a little bit low, he used to always come to me and like, "Yaar, tu to khandan ka stud hai. Why are you so low? And you should always go behind it." Then there was Mr. Prakash. He was a differently able person, and his sheer will to come and give civil services also motivated me in the initial phase. That okay, a person leaving back his family took the risk to come and give civils. So these were the initial phase, because this was the basic foundation which I found. Then I started classes with you, and we had a very good batch. I found friends like Rita in the class who gave a continuous atmosphere of discussion and everything. Next, sir, then I was very much occupied with my family responsibilities. I had to leave preparation when I was with mom. In 2015-16, I met people. I told you there are two types of people: one who believe in you, your dreams, and one who believe in your capabilities. So in the next attempt of 2016, I met such people, and in those, one was Anshika Thapa. She was a friend of mine, and she was very close, and she always mentioned that I have tremendous capabilities. Though I could not clear my initial prelims, I could not clear any of the exams. But she always kept me motivated. No, you have to do this, and she was throughout my journey with my mother and everyone. Then I found a friend in Sanket. We were mad friends, and my transformation phase, I would like to say the first tick happened with Sanket when, for the first time in my life, I started studying for 12 hours a day, and without knowing that I was studying 12 hours a day. My 2016 attempt was with Sanket, and this is when I got very serious that how I should prepare, and Sanket was a continuous motivation. Oh, you cannot get up, you have to study. So we both started, supporting each other. For example, he free to break, so I would never let him take a break, and vice versa. And then the journey started for 2016, 17, again failure. But then again, 18, what happened? Sanket had got scholarship from Jain Hostel, and he had to move, and I went again alone. So here comes the main part, that they will be friends in your journey, and everyone will be very supportive of you, but you cannot expect or you cannot burden your friends that they have to be always there. In 2019 attempt, I was all alone. When I started preparing for 2019 again, I got a job offer. I did not take it. I told my brother that I have a job offer, and what should I do? He said, "You want to do it?" I said, "No, I don't want to do it." Meanwhile, I was very seriously ill, and then I joined a library in Rajendra Place. So Sanket was the one who introduced me to this library over there, and I joined over there. Luckily, studying for 2-3 months, you develop a good aura over there when you start studying. So I found some real good friends over there. First is Meenakshi. She was also preparing for her exams. Then there was Garima. She was also preparing a civil service. She is also a civil service aspirant. And there's Ramakrishna and Saurabh. We were 4 or 5 people who were the core, and I still remember everyone used to tease me that, oh, you are the first one to come, last one to leave. Do you do a race to write the names on the register in the first go? But that 2 year of journey in the last attempt was very crucial. People think that, oh, I need friends only to study or to discuss. I would like to say that is not the only case. Everyone plays an important role. For example, Meenakshi in our group was not preparing for civil, she was preparing for SSC. But she used to be the one who used to lighten up the mood. For example, if it was me, Rama and Saurabh, a bad test day and we used to score very less, so she was the one who used to cheer us up with good food and everything. And if you needed peace, meditation, so Garima used to be there. So this is how it works when you study in a group. So my personal experience to everyone will be that I think so you can isolate yourself being with friends as well. You do not have to isolate yourself into a room. It's not a quarantine or a corona situation. You can definitely go out, make friends. But if you are into discipline, your friends will definitely respect your boundaries. None of my friends ever asked me to break this. And throughout these 11 years, there was one friend, Mr. Ajay Varma. I met him in 2011. So he was a constant guide. Eventually, he is also appearing for UPPCS, and since 2011, he guided me continuously throughout the journey for how to take prelims and how to take mains. So I would like to say that you can be among friends and you do not have to isolate yourself, and every friend is important. You should have a group of friends whom you can discuss answers with. You should have a group of friends whom you can enjoy with, and you should have friends who can motivate you when you are low. So it totally depends. And I had such friends. I was lucky to have such friends whom I can go to according to my requirement. If I was low, I used to go to someone. If I was very energetic, I used to go to someone who can lower down my energy and I can concentrate on studies again. So I think so. The choice of friends that you have to control. That I'll tell again if something comes. But friends are very important.
So Mr. Singh says that friends are very important, and why they are important? Because they maintain your motivation and cheerfulness. So instead of blaming your friends, you should find out that what type of taste you have in developing friendship. Generally people say that you cannot make friends. We all are a social being, we all are the part of this society, so we need someone to give motivational pushback, and friends are the people who are with you 24/7. So first thing he says, the parents' dream is very important because that acts as a motivation. Don't take it as a pressure. Second thing he says कि family does the investment on you, so don't take it as a pressure. And third thing he said कि it's not a quarantine time. Generally people take it as a quarantine. I will not talk to anyone. I will not talk to a girl. I will not talk to a boy. I will not do this. No. Again, smartness is required. Fine.
Yes, the basic thing is, as you told me, take out the best from everyone.
True.
For example, my hobby is tasting food of different states, and somehow all these people I used to study with, all the foodies. So it gave me options to explore different houses, Andhra house, Kerala house. So we used to go eat out there, and Rama was very dedicated. Sanket was a dedicated person, so they gave me the strength to study for 12 hours, 14 hours in a row. Saurabh was a very disciplined and calm person. He knew what he wanted to do in life and very subtle. Same was with Ajay. And Meenakshi is very chilled out person. She would not take too much of tension. And there's this friend of mine, her name is Bindu, and she's very distant from me. She's not preparing for any exams. But yeah, whenever I used to feel low, I should text her. Oh, my test did not go well. I'm not doing good. And she used to boost me up. Oh, don't worry, you'll do something good. Take another test. And she used to write lines. And she used to tell me, oh, see this, I've written for you. And it plays. You have to take the best out of everyone. Leave the negative portion. That is with everyone. Even I have negatives.
So, Mr. Singh, the fourth question, which is the core theme of today's live session. I coined a line about you from gentle to gentleman. I want you to narrate this story to everyone sitting here who has joined us on this live session. What is the journey of a gentle to gentleman?
Sir, the journey starts with your first line. I'd like to mention, I remember that was a class at Ahmedabad Chanakya, and sir came, and there was some discussion going, and I was sitting at the last seat as usual with my cell phone. I was working back then, and someone asked about something, and sir said, I like one boy in the class. So everyone was like, who? That one guy sitting in the corner. So everyone like, why do you like him? He's least bothered what goes into the class. He comes, he enjoys, and everyone is around him, looking towards him. Oh, what does he do? And that was the first time I was like, why did he say so? So I started introspecting myself, and I remember I had come to your hotel and we had a good talk, and I told you these are my habits, and you started laughing and you said, oh, these are very good habits, and you should definitely come to Delhi and you are a right candidate to go for civil services. And I said, sir, I was dropping the idea for civils because it needs too much studies and everything. So that reform started from right that day, and I looked out for different options, what I can do the best, because I also had to survive myself and my family, everyone was there. So I took the risk. That time my mom was also doing good, so I took the risk, and I remember you mentioned about Vipassana in the class. So you told me one thing, do one thing, either go to Vipassana. If you can survive that 12 days, think that you are ready to come to Delhi. And I took a camp at 2011 in Sona. And that first camp was very much enlightening and introspecting. And I remember I coming out of the meditation camp and giving you a call, and I was like, sir, I've already booked my tickets, I've left my job, and I'm coming to Delhi. I came, I started preparing thoroughly. I gave myself good hours a day, apart from my other activities such as workout, following my passion, my hobbies in a better way. Earlier, this energy, which used to get diverted in different useless tasks, got diverted to it. So this meditation which you often say is not only meditating by way of sitting at a place. I personally say that you do not have to sit in a room, closed room and meditate. If you do your work with 100% dedication, that is meditation for me.
That is meditation, true.
if I'm sitting on a study table and if I'm studying for 2 hours, uh, if I do justice to that 2 hours, that is meditation for me. And the same thing I got to know when I started studying in Delhi and I could not study in my room, closed room. So a friend of mine, her name is Suchita, and she was in Hindu college. So I asked her, can you manage a library for me? She said, come to my library and we'll study. And I've never ever entered a library in my life. And I went there and I saw many people studying there. So I sat for 30 minutes and I got up and I was like, oh, I'm ready to go out. So she's like, it's been only 30 minutes and what do you want to do, go out? So I said, I've studied 30 minutes, what do you want more from me? I've never sat that long even in an examination. She's like, if you want to crack civils, this is now how you have to meditate. So I said, I cannot meditate over. She said, you have to study here. So you have to give yourself sitting. Don't study, relax, do whatever you want in the chair. But do it there, do it religiously. So then I started preparing, then I got into law. Law came out as a very positive enforcement to my career. Before that, I was not a person who used to read a lot. Even today, I have not read any novels. I have not got into any deep books. Basic NCERTs and more revision was my formula. So, law gave me a better insight and holistic approach to look into things. I started reading judgments during my internship. I was interning under Mr. Shashank Advani in Advani and company. So he used to allot me a good amount of work, and Mr. Vipul Suri in Suri and company. So these people inculcated a habit of reading during my internship. So my journey for civil services is basically like you're playing Slumdog Millionaire. There was no answer for every question in any book. There were answers from every different situation. I learned about prelims from friends. Then I learned about reading more from my law internships. Had I not done my law, I would have not got that capacity to read a lot. So my legal internships helped me in that way. So I would like to say that people think, oh, situations have changed for worse, and I could not complete my ambition. That is not true, because you might get a diversion in your path, but if your GPS is from Delhi to Agra, you will definitely reach Agra. You will not reach Varanasi.
True.
You might take a D route to some other place, but you will definitely reach. So I took these things always as a D route. When I did law, then when I got a 1 year break, I did in 2018 I had to take break due to some medical reasons. So I did my LLM in that time. I did not waste that time. I did my masters in law. Apart from that, I took 2 simultaneously courses. They were certificate courses from ISIL. So they helped me get a better knowledge of my law optional. So I did not waste that 1 year as well, just for preparing civil services. I'm not saying that everyone who's dedicated does it, but for me it was a big risk, and I was already aging. I was 29. So I said, let me add more to my knowledge and let me be in touch. So these different situations kept molding me in such a manner that even I could not understand that I was being molded. These decisions. I was a big fat piece of rock, and when I remember in 2018 December, I made a call to you at night around 10 o'clock. I was in the library and I finished my first series of test series. I did not take a test series market. I used to write it myself, and I finished 20 good tests. And I made a call to you at midnight and said, "Sir, you're finding my name on the list. Definitely next year. I don't know the rank, but my name will be on the list." And I was sure in 2018 December that I'll make it to the list of UPSC by now, because by then I had realized one thing, that the myth which people have created and many person have created in the UPSC arena is that for clearing UPSC you have to clear syllabus. I think so. For clearing UPSC you have to develop yourself. People who run after syllabus will never be prepared. They will be like, oh, I have not prepared the syllabus this year, let me give it next year. The next year the thing will be again same. So Do not prepare the syllabus, prepare yourself for the examination. The day you will be ready, you can clear all the examinations. I was ready on day 10th December because that was my birthday, and I remember calling sir at night and I said, sir, let whatever exam come, I'll clear it. I cleared my Gujarat pieces the same year. I got 138 rank, but somehow I could not write the Gujarati paper and much. I could not attempt 200 marks question, but I scored decent 138 rank over there. And this year I cleared UPSC, and I don't think so. With this attitude, it would be difficult for me to clear any other examinations as well. No doubt, whatever the result be, I would always be successful because I understood one thing, that you don't have to prepare the syllabus, you have to prepare yourself holistically. So this is when I understood that when from being a gentle, I have now become a gentleman, and this is what UPSC is looking for. And I told my friend, I remember Ashish, throughout my last mains, he was there. He especially came down from Mumbai for 1 month during my mains so that I could discuss answers with him after during my test series. So he used to tell me one thing, you can write this way and everything. So I remember telling one line that, brother, ये attempt मेरे style से रहने दो. Next attempt मैं सारी coaching की बातें सुनूंगा. I told him because I went to many, I got a test series and they asked me to write answers this way, that way. Many people used to tell me write in paras, points. So I said, let this attempt be mine. Whatever the consequences be mine, I'll clear. Then again the interview, same thing happened. My mock interviews very scary. There were many questions from the syllabus and nothing more on the personality, and I developed more of personality in these years. So again, my optional sir, Mr. Gill sir, where I took my law optional classes, he's a great man. He told me one thing, Prabhat, if you get into this mock test and all, you will lose everything. You have a good personality, just go there, sit and talk, and they'll come out. And I had a very nice interview, no matter what the marks would be. But yeah, this was my style, and I finished it. And if my name is on the list, I'm definitely sure if anyone who is working on himself rather than syllabus will find himself in the list next year, definitely. Syllabus people will always be there. I'm not saying that they won't be there. But anyone who is risking to take himself will definitely be there. That is the goal.
So Prabhat Singh gives the fourth message to all of you: transform yourself, evolve yourself. He says, rather than relying on everyone, see, you will be advised by everyone, and India is a land of philosophers. So rather than relying on everyone, it is very good that you should evolve. And the credit he gives to a thing for his evolvement is meditation, which I repeatedly say to you in the class and all the platforms where I get the chance to talk to you. So that is a very good point. It's you who get the selection. You have to change. You have to develop yourself. Don't rely on everyone for all the time. What he says lastly, he says, I said to my friend, let it be my attempt. You get thousands of advice from so many sides. Thousands of advice, and that thousands of advice become the main reason. Duryodhana is the person who's guided by so many people and he lost. These are the things which you can learn from him. You should make it your attempt. I have evolved. I have developed. I know this. I have transformed. So a person who was not able to sit for 30 minutes in a library transformed himself and started sitting for 12 to 14 hours. That is the preparation. This transformation is a preparation, which is a challenge. He says, I know Suchita Sri was in my class, and he says, I was not able to sit for 30 minutes. That is called as preparation. You people think that preparing NCERT is no, preparing yourself, evolving yourself, learning yourself, that is the preparation. Second last question. Other than family and friends, and other than me, don't involve me. 5 people, 5. You can take it 6 also, 7 also. Whom you want to mention from this platform? Your teachers or your relatives or anyone. Whom from this platform you would want to say them thanks, they have also done some contribution to me.
So no doubt, the first name apart from this will be my sir Gil sir. He was my guide. Just as you are a family, I found a mentor and a guide in him.
Gil sir of law.
Yes sir, yes sir. He's not a teacher. For me, he is a guide. But the best part is we share same hobbies of traveling and eating food. And we used to bond over food. Teacher.
Mr. Gil teaches where?
Nirvana IS in Tilak Nagar, and that is a dedicated law test and coaching. And we used to bond over food. It's not that student can have only teachers in classes. I used to say, sir, let's meet after the class so that we can eat something. And he used to be more than happy. Oh, we'll eat something and we'll discuss what to do in the interview. So my mock interviews discussion used to happen over food. So this is how he prepares students.
So one thing is Mr. Gill.
Yes.
One person. Second.
Sir, second person I would like to mention is sir, Mr. Tarun Awasthi. He is with Sankalp.
Yes, yes. Our kind man, gentleman.
Yes. When I joined Sankalp, you were aware of the situations. I could not afford my fees, so my brother had to break the fees. Already the Sankalp fees was very less. It was almost 30,000. Yeah. And but for that also we had to take some installments. So Mr. Tarun sir coordinated in that.
Tarun ji, you are listening. You are getting the credit for the success. Great. No, Tarun is a great man. Yes.
And whenever I missed any class, he would definitely make sure that the classes are rearranged and there. And I remember during my DAB discussion, he arranged a special discussion with Sri Tanida sir, and at night 10 o'clock he took me on his bike to have DAB discussion because I was in Gujarat and my DAB had to be filled next day. So he took that pay.
So third person?
Sir, apart from people who I have already mentioned.
Leave it.
Yes, sir.
Leave it because there may be
Yes,
so
sir.
many
Yeah,
names you
actually
will not
the
remember at the
that
moment of time. Last question. Very important question. See, whenever a person achieves something, it becomes the greatness of the person that he gives credit to anyone. Otherwise, it is completely the achievement of a person, what I believe. This is what I believe. Because if he is not ready, if I am preparing doing something, I am preparing for something, and I am not ready, there are thousands of people whose parents want to invest huge amount of money so that their children can become a government officer. That's not happening. But then I see these type of people and I say that every successful person in any field of life should be given the complete credit to himself. I will give credit to all this credit to him. But then it's a human nature, it's a, what you can say, the sentiment to thank someone that people take the name of everyone gives up this man. As he took the name of Tarun Awasthi, possibly I think that he must be the second, third person in the field of interview who's so dedicatedly taking the name of Tarun Awasthi because I know him personally and he's a great man. He's managing the Sankalp Academy at Jaipur, Mukherjee Nagar. So that is a very good point of him. But finally, it is all his achievement. It is all his achievement. Anyone, all those people who are successful. But then, when you give credit, you don't develop ego. Now the last question, which is again because October you have examination. So I want you to, in a brief, 5-6 lines, you tell what are the core things which a IAS aspirant should follow.
So again, in this thing, I would like to say that these days there are many videos on YouTube who will tell you how to solve. There are tricks to solve prelims questions. Then there are even videos on which pen to use to mark an OMR sheet. So I would not get into that. But again, as I mentioned, my preparation was always about myself. It was never about the syllabus. Even today, if you'll ask, I was not ready with 30 or 40% of the syllabus. But that's a risk. But again, I took that and I was definitely in. But there are 4-5 major points I would like to mention, which I found was constant in every successful person which I have known.
First one?
Sir, first one was originality.
True. That is very true.
Originality. Don't be a trend follower, be a trend setter.
True.
Don't follow everyone blindly. You have your own capabilities. You have your own strengths and weakness. Do a good SWOT analysis of yourself. self-introspection and realization is very must. If you're failing in prelims, there is something wrong with your strategy, there is something wrong with yourself. But if you listen to a person who has scored 160 continuously 4 times in prelims and you are following his strategy, this will not work. You have to follow a person who, you have to follow yourself who could not clear 4 prelims and cleared it in the 5th attempt. What mistakes you have done? So be original. There's a big difference between outstanding students and standing out. People like me, see, outstanding as IITians, IIM doctors, I don't know, they are very intelligent. So they are already outstanding. But if you want to stand out for common average people who are there with 55%, who have cleared with 3 grace marks and everything, if you to stand out, that is your originality which will make you stand out of the crowd. Sir,
Second,
use every bit of your time. The first 2 attempts in which my mom mentioned that अब मेरे वजह से तुम्हारा attempt नहीं खराब होगा, that line resonated in my mind for at least 1 year and I could not forgive myself that my mom had to blame it on her. I could have studied the entire year, and during her last time when she was hospitalized she was hospitalized 12 days before my prelims. She had a heart surgery. So she was like, because of me your attempt got wasted and you got left by some marks. So if I would have studied the entire year, that 10 days would not matter at all, because I would have been prepared 1 month ago to the prelims. So what we do is we push our deadlines. Do not push your deadlines. If the prelims is on 2nd October, you have to be prepared by 2nd September, because there will be contingencies, there will be situations. You will fall sick, your father will fall sick, someone will fall sick. If you have to reach the center at 10, reach the center at 8, because the tire might get flat, there might something happen, there might be rain, there can be any disaster. So don't push your deadlines. Use every single day. Keep extra days in your hand. Do not leave any test series, or if you're not taking any test series, do not push syllabus till 25th of September. If the exam is on 4th of October this year, I think so you should be very much ready by 15th of October.
true.
That should be
15th of September.
15th of September, you should be very much ready, because that will give you good space to relax when everyone will be peaking. They'll be studying for 16 hours. And then how can you perform when you're studying 16 hours, you're not having good sleep, and you're going for your prelims? This year when I was ready, I think so the prelims was on in June, and I was ready by April 9th. So I remember last month going to the library around 8 o'clock and coming back by 6. I used to watch series and chill. But I used to revise. I did not used to get distracted. You do not have to get distracted. You have to be in that momentum. But when you achieve a pace, you have to be in that pace itself. Do not let it go loose.
Second, third.
Sir, there is no escape from discipline.
That's fine.
Third is discipline. As originality comes, then the second is using your time wisely. For using your time wisely and for originality, you need discipline.
True.
If you have to get up at 6, you have to get up at 6. If you have to reach library at 7, you have to reach library at 7. If you have to write a test on Sunday, you have to write a test on Sunday. And you're not going anywhere before 12. Make your plans, because people confuse discipline with not enjoying life. I think so there's discipline in enjoying life as well. For me, in my personal case, I used to fix every Sunday after 12 party day, meeting friends, chilling out. And every 3 months I kept a deadline in which I used to travel out of Delhi for 3 days, good 3 days, backpack travel. So these vacations used to act as a motivating factor again. Oh, Sunday I'm having a break, let me study till Sunday, I'll enjoy. But people often, aspirants often confuse dedication and discipline with isolating, getting more depressed, introvert. I think so, because there are personalities who are already natural to it, but people, if a personality like me who is already social, so you cannot totally go dormant.
True.
So you have to balance it.
So we met a person who transformed his life, who became an example for everyone. And this interview with Mr. Prabhat Singh is a beginning. Possibly in the coming years, you will face many interviews with him on many platforms. As an IAS officer today, if he gets IRTS or Danish and all those things he gets. But as the commitment level is very high, but then main things what I want to say to you is, you just see the lesson. A person from a very common class with no good academic background, disturbed life, tension on all the fronts. He does not know what he has to do, but he was ready for transformation. It's not that coachings who give you the success. It's not the teachers who give you the success. They play the role. That I also accept. I called him because I knew him personally. I knew him that he cannot sit more than 30 minutes. And many of you are suffering from this. So you can take a lesson from him. A person from a simple, humble background like you and me is transforming himself. Transform yourself. Learn the lessons. A person is talking about discipline. A person is talking about meditation. Person is just giving you the message of parents, friends, teachers. And we pray to God that next time when he comes and sits here, he will have at least first rank in IAS. He is very much dedicated and committed, and for this type of people, which I always say in the lecture, ki jahan jazbaat hai, because Japanese history is very important for me. So I have learned something from them, ki jazbaat, matlab if you have a temperament, you can do anything. Buddha leaves his house, he is having a temperament not to come back without getting anything, and he comes back with achievement. So we pray to God that next time when he sits here, he will have a first rank in IAS, and all the coming years will be a great years for him with lots of achievements in this world and in this country. Thank you, Mr. Brahma.